Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call to today's committee of the whole meeting for November 19th, 2024 to order. The town of Hinton respectfully acknowledges that it is located on the First Peoples traditional lands. We recognize this traditional territory to show respect and understanding to those who walk this land since time immemorial. Today, we uphold our ongoing responsibility to work together in the spirit of the intent of the treaties with all the First Peoples and nations that call this place home. The town expresses gratitude for the opportunity to build a better community on these sacred lands for generations to come. And with that, we would call today's meeting to order. First order of business is adoption of the agenda. Council, are there any changes to the agenda? Seeing no changes from council. Administration, are there any changes to the agenda?
No changes.
Thank you. Look for a motion to adopt. Mayor Nissen.
We got the agenda as presented.
Thank you, Mayor Nissen. Committee, we have a motion to adopt. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, we can vote now. Councilor Taylor, in favor? That's carried unanimously. That brings us to our citizens minute with council. Are there any citizens who are registered to speak tonight?
No, there's none.
Thank you. Seeing no citizens for minute with council, move on to reports from administration. 4.1 Civic Agency Support 2025 Budget. Administration.
Thank you, Chair. I don't know if I have to go through all the changes because we've already talked about this at length, but we weren't able to get through the entire document that our last committee of the whole meeting, so we wanted to put this on the agenda for the council to be able to continue our conversation with civic agencies prior to next week, where we plan on formulating like the decisions of council into a budget package and presenting it to council for the first time.
Okay, thank you, CEO Panasic. Number two, committee. Committee, comments, questions, directions. And Councilor Taylor.
I'd like to see consensus that we remove the $34,000 from the list.
Okay, speak to it.
Yeah, essentially this is for kind of leasehold improvements that would occur within the Green Square. That's my understanding of what this money is for. And this is almost presented like it's a gift. And if that's the case, it's a gift to people that are already collecting this fee, which we know are 6 or 8 hotels in town. And my preference would be that if there are going to be improvements done on Green Square, that it be handled like any business, and that would be that the people that would want to do the improvements, they come and talk to us during the leasehold, during the lease discussions, and then if we take on the improvements, would that be factored into the price of the lease, and the improvements be handled that way? I'm not really in favor of basically giving a gift of $34,000 to what seems to be the hotel industry. Let's do it through the lease negotiation that will occur later on in the year, if this even comes up then, and handle it like we would, any business would handle it. That's the way I see it sort of happening. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilor Taylor. So committee, we have a motion to remove the Hinton Destination Marketing Organization from the civic agency's budget. Committee, any comments or questions? So Chambers.
Through the church administration, I just want to confirm that that is correct, that this was for the leasehold improvements, it's not for operating or any other of the duties that we kind of tasked the deal of trying to do.
That's correct. When they came and presented, the pitch was that the 34 that we had traditionally given to the Chamber of Commerce for operating the tourism information, that money go towards the DMO, but they would use that to convert the downstairs tourism information area into a more functional office.
Committee. Councilor Ross.
I guess the only question I have is was that discussed with the chamber when they proposed to use those dollars for the improvements, like, was the administration able to talk to them about how it normally be done? Like through, going through and making requests for that and stuff, like,
Yes, they indicated that they wanted to use that money and that they were going to include it in the proposal.
okay.
There wasn't, that was their proposal. We didn't, I would say. We didn't push back and say that, no, this is for a different time. The DMO is actually only looking at a 1 year to sublease from the chamber. And to be kind of a wing of the chamber for 1 more year until that entire lease is up, and then we would be required to negotiate a lease with both of those agencies, but just for simplicity for the upcoming year, it was proposed that they simply go underneath the chamber's umbrella if we would agree to that.
Thank you.
Any further? Okay, seeing nothing further from committee, we'll call the question, motion please. The committee seek consensus to remove the $34,000 for the Hinton Destination Marketing Organization. Committee, there's no further questions or comments, please vote now. Councillor Taylor, Councillor Race, you're in favor? Okay. Okay, and that is carried by a vote of 4-2 with Councillors Haas and Ostashik against. Committee, anything further? Councillor Taylor?
I seek to reduce the Hinton Historical Society budget back to last year's levels at 55,000. And it's very difficult at this time to see increases to some of these. In fact, some of these groups have even reduced these their numbers. So to have increases is going to be very tough in consideration of the budget that we face. Yeah, if I could put the moose on the table, so to speak, the attendance numbers that they have, particularly in the winter months, don't support increases. They're really low, the numbers that we were given. There's less than 3 people per day that seem to show up at the museum. So I don't support more than we were giving last year. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Taylor. So committee, we have a motion to reduce the Hinton Historical Society funding to $55,000 for 2025. Any comments, questions from committee? Okay. No comments or questions from committee. We would call the question. That committee seek consensus to reduce the Hinton Historical Society to $55,000. Maybe if you could vote now. In favor, Councillor Taylor?
Yes.
And that is carried 5-1 with Councillor Haas voting against. Councillor Taylor?
Well, I don't want to reduce or change this amount. I would like to speak to it. The Art Society has actually come in at a lower amount than last year, and I think that we should thank them for their work in trying to keep it on budget and a little bit less. It does help us out. So to the Art Society of Hinton and the good job you do planning Performing Arts Center. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for that, Councillor Taylor. Committee?
I would put seek a consensus that all the other topics that we haven't talked about, that we accept the budget as presented. So the ones that we've talked about, I won't go into what those are. You know what those are. The ones in blue plus the 2 that we just talked about, those were changed. But all the other ones, we accept the civic agency amounts for 2025 as presented. I think at this stage in the budget process, we're not really sure where we're sitting regarding the tax increases, and we always have the flexibility to come back and look at some of these numbers, but at this time, I don't want to discourage all these excellent volunteers that are doing this work by decreasing their numbers. Some of them give us in bike club, disc golf, give us really good service for what they do. So we'd like to take it the way it is now. And then we see where we are with the larger tax pressures we face, and then see what other things we have to do before we start reducing these numbers. That's my take on it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Taylor. So committee, there is a motion to accept the 2025 civic agency amounts as probably not presented, probably amended.
Oh, thank you.
Doesn't mean it's necessarily the end of the conversation. This motion could always be tabled if there's anything that the committee wants to bring forward tonight to see any additional changes. And all it takes is a motion to table. Councilor Race.
So, eventually I want to make get a consensus or make a motion to bring that $10,000 back to community futures. But I still need more information before I bring them forward. So will I have an opportunity to bring this back to council?
Through the chair, members of council, we're just beginning the budget process. You know, we've had a lot of discussions, but there'll be plenty of opportunities for council to identify some specifics and bring it forward. But if there is particular information that you need from us, let me know and we'll make sure we get it to you.
It's just on,
Mhm.
on Thursday, we're going to be attending strategic planning with community futures. And it'll be the first strategic planning session that I've attended with them. So I'm thinking I'll get a lot of information, particularly on what they're planning to do next year. So, and I could use that as some good ammunition to bring this technology. So I will have ample opportunities.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Race. Committee? Yeah, seeing nothing further from committee then. We'll call to question the direction that committee seek consensus to accept the 2025 civic agency amounts as amended. Committee, if you could vote now, please. Spectators in favor, I'm assuming?
Yeah, sorry, I can put that on for the agenda.
Oh, I just saw your hand, I didn't realize you.
Yes,
Yep.
undoubtedly, you know,
Gotcha.
that's for the future.
Noted. Okay. That's carried that's carried unanimously. Committee, are there any other comments, questions, matters we want to attend to regarding maybe the whole meeting for tonight? Or listen? I believe that is the only agenda item for the whole meeting for tonight. So, if there's nothing further from committee, we would accept a motion to adjourn. Listen.
Motion to adjourn. Thank you, everybody, for doing this ex-pillow meeting tonight. This one went quick. It could have gone a lot longer, but this really puts our administration ahead of the game, getting our budget ready for next couple of meetings. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you for listening. Committee, any comments? Seeing none, we'll call to question the committee adjourned the meeting at 5:18 p.m. All those in favor, or sorry, please vote now. Councilor Taylor is indicating with his thumb that he was in support.
You send a finger, right?
And that's carried unanimously. We're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.